Help me reach 6,000 subscribers. Support the video with a like and leave your thoughts in the comments. I read everyone. Thank you. I've heard people say you can feel when something breaks inside you. Not a sound, not a snap, but a quiet collapse you can't undo. I used to think that was just poetic nonsense until that night, at 3 in the morning, when my phone buzzed on the nightstand and everything I thought I knew about my marriage began to unravel. My wife, Claire, never called that late. We'd been married 8 years, together almost a decade. I fumbled for the phone, half asleep, and her voice came through soft but oddly steady. "Hey," she said. "Don't worry, I'm at my sister's." I couldn't sleep, needed someone to talk to. My eyes adjusted to the darkness of the room, and then, beside me, her sister stirred. Emily. The name alone still makes my stomach twist. Claire's younger sister, the wild one, the kind who laughed too loudly, drank too much wine at family dinners, and liked pushing boundaries just to see what would happen. That night, she'd crashed on my couch after a late movie. At least that's what she'd said she wanted. A quiet night away from my roommate drama. Claire had been out since the afternoon, claiming she needed to clear her head. So when I heard her voice say she was with her sister, my entire body froze. Emily blinked awake at the sound of the ringtone still echoing faintly. Her messy hair fell across her face, confusion flickering as I stared at the glowing screen. "Who is it?" she mumbled. "Claire," I said. "She says she's with you." Silence settled between us like fog. For a heartbeat, neither of us moved. Emily's expression changed, the kind of shift that tells you the truth before words ever do. I saw it in the way her mouth opened slightly, then closed again, in the way her eyes darted toward the clock, then away. "She's not here," Emily whispered, and that's when everything inside me clicked into a kind of cold clarity. Not rage, not heartbreak, just a detached focus, the same way your mind sharpens in a car accident before the impact hits. I didn't ask where Claire really was. I didn't accuse her of lying, not yet. I simply said, "Thanks," hung up the phone, and got out of bed. The night outside was quiet, the kind of eerie suburban silence that amplifies your thoughts until they're too loud to ignore. I poured a glass of water in the kitchen, watching the digital clock flip from 3:02 to 3:03. Emily followed me, wrapped in the blanket she'd pulled from the couch. She stood there, unsure whether to speak. "Do you know where she might be?" I asked finally. She hesitated. I mean, she didn't tell me anything." I studied her face. She wasn't lying, or at least not about that. But there was something she wasn't saying, something hanging heavy in the air. "Look," she started, rubbing her arms. "Claire's been distant. You know that. Maybe she just needed space." Space. That word again. The one Claire had been using for months. I just need some space. I need time to think. I need to breathe. Funny how people only need space when they're already drifting toward someone else. I didn't respond. I just nodded and sat down at the table. The phone sat there too, screen dark now, but I couldn't stop replaying her tone. Calm, practiced, perfectly normal. Emily lingered for a minute, then whispered, "I'm sorry," and disappeared back to the couch. For the rest of that night, I didn't sleep. My mind started connecting dots. The late work nights, the sudden silences when I entered a room, the way she guarded her phone like a secret. By morning, I'd gone through every possible emotion. Anger, confusion, denial. But by the time the sun rose, I'd made up my mind. I wasn't going to confront her, not yet. I was going to watch. For the next week, I played the role of the clueless husband perfectly. I smiled. I kissed her cheek. I pretended everything was fine. She told me she was attending early yoga sessions with her sister, and I didn't question it. Every time she left, she carried that same calm mask, the one that had fooled me for months. What she didn't know was that her car's GPS had been synced with my phone long before she started lying. On the third morning, the map showed her parked 2 blocks from a downtown apartment complex. Not near any yoga studio. Not near Emily's place. Just a random building. I drove there that afternoon, pretending to be running errands. From across the street, I watched her walk out of the building, laughing, head tilted, phone in hand. A man followed. He was tall, confident, the kind of guy who wears a crisp shirt like it's a statement. He touched her back lightly as they walked to her car. She didn't flinch. That was all I needed. Still, I didn't confront her. Not yet. I wanted her to hand me the truth herself, the same way she'd handed me that 3 a.m. lie. That night, she came home cheerful, humming as she unpacked groceries. "Long day?" I asked. "Yeah," she said, smiling. "Yoga ran late." I nodded, watching her eyes. "How's Emily?" Her expression flickered, just for a moment. Then she said, "She's fine." "Why?" "Just wondering," I replied. "Haven't seen her much lately." I saw her shoulders relax again. She thought she was safe, but I was done playing safe. The next few days I played a quiet game of patience, the kind that tests every nerve in your body. I knew she was lying, but I needed to understand how deep it went. How long? How many nights had I kissed her cheek goodnight while she was thinking about someone else? I stopped sleeping well. Every time she touched me, I flinched inside. Every "I love you" tasted like ash. I'd catch her smiling at her phone, the faint curve of her lips too soft, too private. The kind reserved for someone who still made her pulse quicken. One Friday evening, she announced she was going to spend the night at Emily's again. I looked at her packing an overnight bag, the same one she used for weekend trips when we were still trying to fix our marriage. She even hummed while folding her clothes. "Say hi to Emily for me," I said, my voice steady. She paused for half a second, then smiled. "Of course." As soon as she left, I called Emily. "She just told me she's spending the night with you," I said. Emily sighed heavily. "She's not." That was it, the confirmation I needed. I told Emily not to say a word, then got in my car and followed the GPS signal again. The dot blinked slowly on the map, heading downtown, then stopping in front of the same apartment building. It was past 10 when I parked across the street. The air smelled faintly of rain, and my hands trembled as I sat in the dark car. Through the windshield, I saw her again, laughing, hair tossed over her shoulder, walking beside the same man. He opened the door for her, and they disappeared inside. For 20 minutes, I stared at that door. Every memory, the wedding vows, the first apartment, the late-night talks, replayed in flashes, but each one now carried the taste of betrayal. I wasn't sure what I'd do. Burst in? Confront her there? Walk away forever? None of those options felt real. Then my phone buzzed. A message from her. "Love you. Don't wait up. Emily and I are watching a movie." The same lie wrapped neatly in tenderness. I almost laughed. Instead, I took a photo, her car parked outside the building, the apartment number glowing faintly above the door. Proof. Cold, simple proof. I drove home, sat on the couch, and thought about what kind of man I wanted to be when the truth came out. I didn't want to scream. I didn't want revenge. I just wanted clarity. The next morning, she walked in around 9, hair tied up, wearing a sweatshirt I'd never seen before, probably his. She kissed me on the cheek and said, "You're up early." I nodded. "Did you sleep well?" She smiled easily. "Yeah, we stayed up talking till 2. That was when I realized how far she'd gone. Lying had become effortless. I didn't say anything that day, but that night I prepared something. When Sunday came, I invited Emily over. I told her we needed to talk. She looked nervous when she arrived, probably fearing the worst. I asked her to sit in the living room. Claire was in the kitchen making coffee, humming to herself like it was any other morning. "Claire," I called, "come here a sec." She walked in, mug in hand, smile ready, until she saw her sister sitting on the couch. Her body stiffened. The color drained from her face. "Everything okay?" she asked carefully. "Yeah," I said, reaching for the remote. "I just thought we should watch something together." With one click, the TV screen lit up. I connected my phone earlier. The photo I'd taken outside the apartment appeared first. Her car. The building number, timestamped at 10:34 p.m. Then the next photo, her and the man walking out, his arm around her. For a long moment, The only sound in the room was the quiet hum of the refrigerator. Claire set the mug down slowly, her hand shaking. "It's not what you think," she whispered. Emily looked away, tears already gathering in her eyes. I said nothing. I didn't need to. The silence itself was louder than any accusation. Finally, she spoke again. "I didn't mean for it to happen. I was lonely. You were distant." I laughed softly, bitterly. "So you called me at 3 in the morning, pretending to be with your sister? That's how loneliness sounds now." Her lips parted, but no sound came. Emily stood up. "Claire, stop. Just stop." She turned to me, eyes full of apology. "I didn't know she was using me as cover. I swear. I wouldn't have gone along with it." I nodded. I believed her. Claire looked between us, panic rising. "You have to believe me, Mark. It was one mistake." "One mistake that lasted how long?" I asked quietly. "Weeks? Months?" She started crying then, soft at first, then harder, the way people cry when they know the performance is useless. I didn't yell. I didn't throw anything. I just stood up, walked past her and said, "You can stay here tonight. I'll be gone in the morning." I packed a bag, just a few essentials, and spent the night at a small motel off the highway. I didn't sleep much, just stared at the ceiling, listening to the sound of trucks passing in the distance. By sunrise, I felt something I hadn't expected. Peace. Not happiness, not relief, just the quiet stillness that comes when the noise finally stops. A week later, the divorce papers were filed. Claire didn't fight it. Maybe she knew she'd already lost something she couldn't rebuild. Emily reached out a few times afterward. She said she felt guilty for everything, even though none of it had been her fault. I told her not to. People make choices, and sometimes those choices burn everything around them. It's been 6 months now. I still wake up sometimes at 3 a.m., half expecting that phone to ring again. But now, when it's quiet, I don't think about her lies. I think about how that call, that one lie, set me free. Because sometimes betrayal isn't the end of your story. It's just the part that forces you to start writing your own.